Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 19th through 25th. We're going to open up the energy of the reading today with the stag spirit. I've been getting this one a lot, and this one says, take the lead. I think this is actually really perfect for you, Sagittarius. I feel like in a lot of your readings lately, you've been sort of edging toward a leadership role, or you've been stepping into a sense of leadership or even like ownership or power lately. And I think that really is a good omen for you. Take the lead. All right. Now let's put that into a little bit of context with our Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. We will one day get back to the Thoth Tarot, but I kind of like this little detour that we're taking. All right, we've got Three of Pentacles. Yes, very nice. There is a Nine of Swords here, but there's also a star. Yeah. We have a Five of Swords, a Six of Pentacles. Very, very good. And a Six of Swords. So I feel like whatever has been troubling you, Sagittarius, is on its way out of your life. Okay, I feel like you're getting out of its life. I feel like you are moving on from some sort of conflict or some sort of a difficulty that's been in your life related to this. Maybe it's an argument that some of you have had, and it sort of led to maybe like deeper realizations. Yeah, but I feel like we're moving forward from that in a very definite. We see a real flow here, and now we've got the Sun card. And we have an Eight of Wands, we have a Nine of Wands, and we've got the High Priestess. So this is very good. Very, very good for you. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set it down right over here with our little Tibetan prayer wheel right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction down in the comments below. All right. Now, as we look around the room, we see major, major, major High Priestess, the Sun, and the Star. Couldn't be better than that. I mean, that is really like you are blessed. You are being divinely guided right now. We've got fire and fire. The thing is, we don't have any water. What we do have is air, 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 and our earth cards. I think some of you recently may have been trying to work together with someone, okay? But I feel like there was some sort of and it could be like a family thing. It could be even a romantic thing for some of you. But I feel right off the bat that there was some kind of trust that was broken. And I feel like it really was a difficult thing to process, okay? The realization that a relationship was not going to work, okay? I feel like if that's for you, you're moving on from that. You're getting to kind of calmer waters, okay? That's not going to be for everybody, but I feel like that's kind of that's a message that we're seeing here just at first glance, okay? There was some broken trust. Something's not going to work. That is, that's a painful realization. But with that Six of Swords, I feel like that's really a very positive sign, okay? But for the Three of Pentacles, for our general reading, this is a card of collaboration, right? This is a week where success is really going to come from teamwork. That we're trying to find a way to work together with the people in our lives, whether this is you and your spouse, you and your friends, you and your kids, your pets, your plants, your people, right? Trying to get everybody to work together. Not always easy, is it? But you're going to succeed at that because not only do you have the Three, but you have the fulfillment of the Three, which is the Six, okay? Just as you have the fulfillment or the conclusion of this conflict, argument, sort of broken trust thing, you have the resolution of that as well, okay? So this is a very good week for recognizing where you need more collaboration, and I think for some of you recognizing where collaboration just wasn't going to happen and saying, okay, that didn't work. What else can I do? Okay, maybe this is too the card for some of you, asking for feedback. okay? Kind of showing your work to somebody and or even your plans or your system, or just asking for that feedback. Again, it could be could be family things, could be at home, at work, at school, okay? Asking for that feedback so that we can refine and strengthen what we're doing, whether it's a craft, whether this is how we're running our household, whether this is like, give me feedback on like, how's my driving, being open to that sort of feedback. That's not the same as criticism. Thankfully, we don't have a 7 of Swords, which to me would be like someone's not being very nice, but we do have a 9 of Swords too. So it may be that we're having a difficult time with that feedback, that maybe somebody is giving us feedback that is really not very kind, okay? It's a card that says stay consistent, slow and steady. Keep working to refine what you're doing. Maybe this is a good week for you to upgrade your tools or your workspace. What can you do? What little things can you implement this week that will help you to improve the results that you're getting? Whether this is at, again, work, home, school, wherever. It could be at the library, the book club. It could be at the park or the community center. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, let's say you're kayaking. What can you do to improve your results? Maybe it's you got to get a certain wax for the kayak. I don't know. I don't know if you're supposed to wax them. Or, maybe it's you're going to upgrade your paddle. Or maybe you're just upgrading the whole kayak. I don't know. Okay? Maybe this is a skill, a sport, a musical instrument. Maybe you're having somebody read your poetry and think, can you give me your honest opinion? And what can you do to upgrade all of that work that you're doing? Maybe you buy nicer pens. Maybe you can upgrade the workspace, beautify it, find a way to make it a little bit more feng shui, a little bit more flow, okay? I think that this is also giving yourself a little bit of credit, recognizing that what you're working on, whatever skills you're trying to build, whatever you're doing, and when I say work, it's not just what you're doing for money. That's your job. I mean your work. Like, what are you burning calories doing every day? Maybe you're literally burning calories. Maybe you're exercising, fitness. Maybe this is finances. Maybe this is things around the house. Maybe it is your career or your art form. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe you're raising cattle. I don't know. I've been thinking I want to get chickens one day. That's what I've been thinking. I want to start doing that. But anyway, I feel like it'd be good for our daughter to raise chickens, I don't know. They're cute and they seem like they're fairly easy to work with, but I don't know. I think my parents had chickens when I was really little, but I don't remember too much about them or what it was like to have chickens. But recognizing that what you're doing right now is really worthwhile, and it's an achievement in itself. Just to be working hard at something. Let's say you're trying to learn how to, crochet, right? Maybe you're not very good at it at first, but it's an accomplishment just to be in it, working at it, working on the improvement. Yeah. It's also a good week to offer praise to other people, to acknowledge the effort that other people are putting in, and to do so in a nice way. Because with that 9 of Swords sitting there, it feels like maybe some of us aren't feeling all that great about the progress we're making. And so we just like some sort of encouragement. And I think if we offer that to other people too, that's going to go a long way for us. The praising of other people. Give other people a boost, a little bit of a confidence boost. Say something kind to somebody else, I think for a lot of you, this is the week where a lot of your quality work is going to attract attention. A lot of you are going to get recognized for some of that quality work that you're doing, okay? But now we got to talk about this 9 of Swords. We'll make it quick and painless, okay? The 9 of Swords may be worry, okay? It may be a week where we're not feeling all that good about the progress we're making, okay? We might be frustrated at the end of the day thinking I could have done more, or like I was trying to do the kayaking thing, but like the kayak there was a leak in it, and then my paddle broke, and then, I forgot the whatever, I had to go back to the house, or, whatever it might be. Things don't always go as planned. So we might be sort of headed to bed at night with a lot on our minds. There's a card that's saying, let's make sure we go to bed calm. Let's make sure we go to bed. They say, like, don't go to bed angry. I feel like that's kind of what this card is about, We don't want to lose sleep over it. Let's be, with that Three of Pentacles, let's be very proud of what we've done. Let's take the feedback as constructive criticism. And, let's go to bed in the confidence that what we're doing is worthwhile and that we are making progress, and that whether we feel like we're already excellent at it or not so much, that we're exactly where we need to be, okay? And also, don't face everything alone. Yeah, make sure you talk to somebody that you trust. Make sure that you get feedback from somebody that is going to be honest with you, but also kind. We don't always have to be nice, right? But we should always be kind. Yeah. And if we are giving somebody else feedback or someone's giving us feedback, we should expect that to be kind and maybe even a little bit gentle. It doesn't have to be harsh. It doesn't have to be cruel. It doesn't have to be mean. Okay? And also this week, avoid doom scrolling, avoid catastrophizing. Okay? Whatever you're doing this week, let's try to keep it kind. Let's try to keep it gentle. Let's make sure that we don't do anything extra to stress ourselves out. Let's make sure that we go to bed calm. Have the chamomile tea, right? Sit outside, maybe take some deep breaths, do some stretching, maybe unwind with one of your favorite TV shows or your favorite book or something like that, or play with the dog. Do something right before bed that's going to make you sleep better, not something that's going to keep you up all night worrying about stuff. Don't ruminate on the failures of the day or the perceived failures of the day. Don't spend the last few minutes before you go to sleep, like on your phone, looking at things that are going to upset you. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And also this week, focus on what you can control right now, today. How do we make each day more stable, more calm, more productive? Let's not worry about the future. Maybe this person is up all night because they're worried about tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's going to suck because we didn't get any sleep tonight. You ever have that happen? That's me almost every night. So worried about tomorrow. I want tomorrow to go well. I want tomorrow to go well. Tomorrow goes terribly poor because I was up all night worrying about tomorrow, right? So if we just sleep through the night, we're going to wake up refreshed. And we're going to have a clear idea of what to do, and it's going to be much better, right? We're going to improve our chances of having a productive day, week, a tomorrow, and even a next week, okay? This is a good week to focus on good habits, deep breathing, journaling, prayer, sleep, hydration will restore clarity. Gentle thoughts, okay, especially before you go to sleep at night, okay? I think that's one advantage, whether you're spiritual or religious or not. That's one good thing about prayer or meditation right before bed. Puts you into that nice, I don't know if it's like the theta wave kind of feeling where you're going to sleep good or well, And so that, I think, is a really important card that we have here, because I feel like it's a week where we could very easily get stressed like that. Just, with a snap of a finger, everything could be really stressful and intense and really not feel very good, okay? So I think it's important that we take that card and we look at it and we say, okay, you're here, Nine of Swords, I got to pay attention to you. It doesn't mean anything bad's going to happen, but it means our mind sometimes is going to focus on some of the bad stuff. So all that means is that we got to do extra things this week in order to keep things calm and a little bit chill. And if we're going to be giving feedback or getting feedback, let's make sure that it's positive and constructive and kind, okay? The Star card. This is a good week for healing, okay? This is a good week for those of you that have experienced some sort of I don't want to call it a betrayal necessarily, but where you sort of lost faith in somebody, or you lost trust in somebody, or somebody like you found out somebody wasn't being totally honest with you. This is a good week to kind of let that go, to heal from that, and kind of feel like, okay, I'm rebuilding now, rebuilding something better than what that was. This is also a card that's saying hydrate. I feel like drinking water is going to be very important for you this week. And also getting enough rest, okay? Set some good goals for yourself, but gentle goals. Goals that aren't going to get you frazzled and stressed out to where you're up all night, Nine of Swords, worrying about tomorrow. Gentle goals. Just say, you know what? This week, my goal, buy a new pen or upgrade the paddle on the kayak. That's my goal for the week. Simple. Low stress. It could be low cost even, right? My goal this week is to clean up the studio and maybe bring a plant in here. You know, maybe get a little cactus I could put somewhere. I mean, that's my goal for the week. And also a card of sharing, kindness, and encouragement. And so it really goes, I mean, everything fits together here with the 3 and the 9. So kindness, kind encouragement, because that's going to multiply the good vibrations, the good frequencies in your life right now. When you're offering some friendly encouragement and guidance to other people, not advice, not like, oh, you're doing that wrong, you should tie your shoe that way, do the rabbit around the tree rather than the bunny ears or whatever it is. Not to criticize other people, but to say, hey, I see what you're doing over there, and I think you're killing it. I think you're doing a great job. You know, find one person in your life this week where you, out of the blue, can go up to them and just say, hey, you know what? I thought I would tell you. You're really doing a great job being a parent or something. You know what I mean? Like that feels good. As a parent myself, I know how far that can go. Because especially with kids, and some of you might be working or dealing with children and the dynamics between children and that sort of thing. It feels good to hear that, you know. And because sometimes as parents, we don't know that we're really doing a good job. We're trying, but some nights we're losing sleep, getting very frustrated with ourselves because it just feels like I'm not doing enough or I'm not doing the right stuff or it's the things I'm doing aren't working and, you know, all that stuff. So to go up to somebody and say, hey, you know what? I just thought I would tell you. You're doing an amazing job as a mom or a dad or whatever, you know, or as a grandma or as an auntie or an uncle or as a brother, right? That's, you know what I mean. A good week for you to express yourself through art, music, and journaling again. Feeling the journaling is going to be a big part of the week. Because if there is a buildup of the frustrating thoughts, we got to just get them out in a kind way, being kind to ourselves. Okay, let's see. Spend some time under an open sky. Fresh air. Again, maybe before bed, go out, look at the stars. If you could see them from where you live. Get the fresh air. Maybe just say a little prayer, a little meditation, send some good vibes out to the universe, and then go to sleep. Calm. Yeah. And mostly go to sleep believing in your future. Because I feel like a lot of you are turning a corner here. I feel like there was some confusion, there was some argument, there was some friction or conflicts back here with the 5 of Swords. I feel like you're turning a corner there. Optimism is going to be your medicine this week. Okay? Now, we will talk about this 5 of Swords. For some of you, this is going to be a very recent argument, disagreement, some kind of conflict or friction. For some of you, this is going to be a moment where you felt like you were lied to, or maybe where somebody was giving you some feedback on your work, but they weren't being very nice about it. Okay? And so, to me, what it feels like is you really are a little bit taken aback by the way somebody treated you, whether it's through their sort of, you know, I don't want to say they lied to you. Maybe they lied to you. Through their dishonesty, perhaps, or their inauthenticity. Maybe you might be feeling a little bit shaken by that, a little bit disappointed in that, okay? And it could be that, you know, you exchanged words with somebody, but for the 5 of Swords right now, we want to avoid any unnecessary arguments, okay? It kind of feels like maybe there was an argument. Even if you won the argument, I feel like it didn't make you happy, okay? So some arguments may cost your peace of mind. So walk away from drama, walk away from ego battles, as much as you can. Choose clarity, choose peace, choose, I want to sleep at night. Choose that over just like, I need to be right. I need to win, you know. And most of all, apologize if you've been a little too sharp with somebody. Humility is going to restore harmony. But don't expect other people to apologize to you. Don't go into a situation, saying, okay, I'm going to apologize to you because I want to get the apology from you. So that's don't do it as a tactic, right? It's not a tactical move. It's for your own peace of mind. I'm apologizing. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm going to go to bed. You know, not waiting around like, okay, dude, it's your turn. Don't go into it like that. Because if you don't get their apology, then you're going to be upset. And so you're giving them the power, you see. So by you just saying what you need to say, I'm sorry, I said some things I didn't mean or whatever. If you've been a little sharp. And then just walking away and sleeping peacefully. You keep your power, right? Rather than giving it to the other person, waiting for them to apologize, and they'll know. And they'll say, oh, I see, you're waiting for me to apologize. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep this going for a little while then. I'm not going to apologize right away. And that's going to upset you. And so that gives them the power. Don't do that. Okay. Reflect on what any recent conflicts have been trying to teach you. Not to the point where, 9 of Swords, you're losing sleep at night. Okay? But it would be good to, maybe the next morning to try to reflect on it and just kind of understand like what happened and why that went down the way it did. But do not upset yourself and do not go to bed all frazzled because you're not going to sleep well. Okay? Keep your focus on the progress that you're making, not on competition with anybody. Okay? Your work that you're doing is about you, not about them. Peace of mind is going to be the real victory this week. Okay? Being able to sleep at night. I want you to get a lot of good rest this week. Maybe because Halloween's coming up next week, so maybe it's going to be busy, Maybe we're not going to get a lot of sleep. We're going to be kids ringing the doorbell all night long, yeah? That's my favorite part of Halloween. My daughter loves to stay home and pass out candy. She wants to go and collect some candy at houses, a few houses, but then she just can't wait to go home. She wants to sit on our step and pass out candy to the kids that come by. She loves to be the passer-outer. She loves to be, the hostess, so to speak. But peace of mind is going to be very, very important for you this week, okay? Getting that good night's sleep. You got a 6 of Pentacles, too. So I feel like we're finally getting into some more of the good stuff, yeah? The 6 of Pentacles is a good time for sharing and a good time for cooperation, just like our 3, where we're looking for that collaboration. And we're hoping to, get some good feedback and to make some progress on what we're doing with our lives. The 6 of Pentacles is us perhaps receiving assistance, working together in a group. I always see the 6 of Pentacles as kind of a work group, a focus group, a study group even. It could be, to me, I always think of a round table, because then the Thoth pack, it's a round card where there's, it's a circle of pentacles anyway. It's still a rectangular card. You know what I mean. The 6 of discs here is the giving and receiving, generously, gracefully, and graciously to help build a community. We're cooperating, we're sharing what we have, we're exchanging. I've got some cabbage, you've got some olive oil, so let's trade. Let's share what we have. You bring the olive oil, I'll bring the cabbage. We've got dinner, right? I love cabbage. I love sautéed cabbage. Oh, so good. Anyway, it's not necessarily a barter or an exchange, but it's a sharing. So to me, it's always the potluck card, And I love potlucks more than anything. One, because I don't want to have to cook for everybody. And I like focusing on one thing that I can make. And bringing that to the table, and everybody else brings what they want, and pretty soon you've got this really eclectic mix of different kinds of food, and it's just so yummy, yeah. So I feel like this builds community as well, because there's equality, there's fairness. It's not, everybody comes over to our house and then we've cooked all the food. So not only do you have to eat what I cook, but then it's kind of like, I'm getting all the praise for me hosting and bringing all the food and making all the food and everything. A potluck to me feels more, it's like we all brought what we had, we all made what we knew how to make, and we're sharing it with each other. And to me, that just feels so good. It's that community energy, right? So focus on that this week. A good week to pay some debts, return some favors, and share those resources in a way that's very fair and in a way that creates more community and more peace. We're not going to go, to our friend who owes us $10 and say, okay, we're not going to shake him down and say, you got to pay me, But, we can sort of make the offering to somebody that we might, that we might owe something to. And I don't think it's just about money, but it's kind of like, maybe now's a good week to remember that friend that did you that favor a long time ago, and then it's maybe you can make that gesture out of the blue, unexpectedly, Support someone that once supported you, okay? A good week for balancing what's going out and what's coming in. So sort of spending and saving, making sure that financially we've got a balanced budget right now. Okay. Make sure that what we're bringing in is more than what we're putting out in any given month or week, right? We could just look at it by the week. And if it's not, then we might need to make some adjustments to restore a little bit of harmony there. Okay, it's a card also of expressing gratitude for the abundance that is flowing, and use your influence to uplift other people. Okay, giving that assistance, giving that generosity, giving that feedback, offering support, offering help. Okay, that's a way to uplift other people, not to exert your control, but to uplift and to create more harmony. This week, kindness, again, showing up in your reading. A lot of these cards suggesting that we're trying to establish more harmonious relations with the people around us and the world at large. Okay, trying to live in more harmony with ourselves, with other people, and with nature too. Okay, now we have a Six of Swords here as well. The Six of Swords is part of that harmony. Moving away from tension, okay, saying goodbye to any environment that is draining you. If this is a situation where there is cruelty and conflict and you have not been able to restore the peace, of course, you're distancing yourself from that. For those of you that experience this kind of betrayal or dishonesty, it was a painful realization, but then you're going to move to calmer waters, okay? A better chapter is ahead for you. Don't rush the transition. Let go of resentment. If there is healing that needs to be done right now, it needs peace. It needs space, okay? The Six of Swords says, focus on what is improving. Don't lament what is ending, okay? Because at first, if we get lied to or there's some sort of dishonesty or there's some sort of argument or conflict, it hurts. Nine of Swords, we're going to lose a little sleep over it. The Six of Swords is saying don't lose too much sleep over it, okay? Focus on the improvement, focus on the healing, give yourself space that you need in order to do that. It doesn't mean even that the relationship is over. It may just mean that, like, we got to walk away. We need a little bit of time apart in order for this to calm down. And then maybe we can come back together in a way that's generous and graceful and fair and, harmonious, right? For some of you, this is going to be a short travel, a short change of scenery to maybe reset your energy. Maybe you're going for a little boat ride. Maybe you're going to just go for a drive Maybe you're just going to go take a walk out in nature, go visit somebody, or just, kind of get a change of scenery. Leave the house and just go do something that is just going to get you outside and get you some fresh air, okay? Also card of, sort of seeking support if you're processing something that's heavy. Talk it out with people that you trust, okay? Progress might be quiet this week, but it's real. Yeah. So another very, very interesting card. There is definitely a theme here with some of these energies for a lot of you. I want to do a manifestation oracle card here. We still don't really see much of that take the lead. I was expecting a lot of fiery energy and a lot of knights and a lot of wands cards. We do have wands on the path of the serpent. But, I was expecting this real leadership type of stuff, an emperor and, a knight of wands and things. Maybe the leadership is a little bit different than we think. Yeah. Maybe taking the lead is just kind of being the bigger person, and not holding on to the resentments or anything like that. And, kind of that, almost like a very calm leadership. Yeah. Let's do one of these manifestation oracle cards, and then we will talk about the other tarot. We have Clear Passage. You have many choices to make to move closer to your desires, and it says, I make good decisions. You make good decisions such as getting enough water, making sure you get enough sleep, right? This idea of fairness, avoiding conflict, continuing to work on what you're working on, and taking in some positive feedback or constructive criticism, and not putting up with any sort of unkindness, and certainly not giving any unkindness to anybody. Focusing on fairness and the potluck type of community energy rather than one person kind of gets to call all the shots or do, kind of produce everything. The Sun card here is about celebrating success. Even the small steps that you're taking count, okay? This week, do something fun, just for the joy of it. Maybe this is that day trip, or we're just going to go for a walk, we're going to go to the park, we're going to go kayaking, whatever it might be. It might be kind of cold for kayaking, at least up in the northern hemisphere. But do something just for the joy of it. Okay, spend time outside, natural light, sunlight, going to lift your mood. Anytime I'm feeling down, it's usually because I haven't been outside enough. And going from the house to the car doesn't count. Going from the car to the store or to the classroom or whatever doesn't count. This is actually standing outside doing something other than transitioning from house to car to store, and backwards. That's going to lift up your mood big time. Smile more, okay? Because it changes your energy and it attracts connection. People see you smiling and they might even just be curious, what's going on, they want to know, did you hear a joke? Did you see something? Why are you smiling? I want to smile too, And so it really is a way of drawing people in to you. So humor, if you got that. Compliment somebody. Uplift somebody else, like we were talking about over here. Positivity is going to come back to you really quick. Yeah. And also simplify some of your tasks. I feel that with the wands that are coming up next. There is this need to simplify, so there's more room for play, more room for joy, okay? It's not always the crazy, hectic energy with the 8 and the 9 of wands that's going to be the most productive. Sometimes we think that, I don't know, it's almost like if something is too simple, then it must be simple. It must not really be worthwhile. Must not be productive if it's simple and easy, right? And so we kind of feel like those, and it's George Costanza in Seinfeld. Remember when that episode where he realized that if any time his boss was looking at him, he was just frantic and just so stressed out about stuff, his boss would think he's really busy. And George, he's a good worker. That's the most productive employee I've got. He wasn't doing anything. He was kicking back with his feet up on the desk all day. Whenever he saw his boss, he would just be like, oh, gosh, work's so, I don't know. And it would just be really frantic and stressed out, Let's not do that. Let's get our stuff done in a high-quality way, and then let's move on. Let's make more time, right? So simplicity is very important. And basically, this card is here to say that your happiness is a practice. It's not a reward. You know, it's something that we have to cultivate. It's something that we have to do intentionally. It's not something that we work hard, we suffer, and then I get to be happy. We have to create it. We have to embody it. We have to practice it every day by doing all the things that we've been talking about already, okay? And now we're going to see some contrasting energies, especially the Eight of Wands, because it feels like life's getting busier. It feels like things are really speeding up here with the Eight of Wands, you know? Fast movement, stay alert, stay ready to act, okay? So I feel like this week, you know, there is going to be a lot that you're going to have to respond to. I think that you're going to need good sleep. You're going to need the people around you. You're going to need your happiness and your optimism because life's moving fast, right? And maybe this is, again, kind of saying, we got to do things in a very streamlined way. Let's simplify, especially if there's so much to do. We want to try to get it all done. We got to streamline, okay? So stay alert, stay ready to act, stay ready to lead, okay? Respond quickly. If an email comes in and you're looking at it, just respond to it now. Don't say, oh, okay, I gotta get back to them later. Just do it now and get it done, okay? So those messages that come in, you know, you get the text message and you say, oh, okay, I gotta remember to respond to, you know, my brother, you know, later. You got the message, now you got your phone in your hand, just send a quick reply. And that way it's off your mind, so the stress is lower, and it's off your to-do list. So that's a good thing, right? It's not one more thing to remember to do, and then guess what? We forget to text our family, and then they're just kind of like, oh, geez, Paul never texted me back. We're all guilty of that, you know? So streamline your tasks. Keep momentum going, because that's really gonna help this week. I think a lot of success is available this week, okay? So even responding quickly to messages, but also offers or sudden changes that come in. If something isn't going the way you expected it to, if there's suddenly a shift in the energy, roll with it, okay? Don't pause like a Nine of Swords and lose sleep over it. Just adapt, you know? Just roll with those punches. This is, it is a good time for travel. We see that with the Six, and now with the Eight of Wands too. There is this idea that maybe in some of your, maybe a pleasure cruise, in some of your just more leisurely travels, there might actually be a nice opportunity that you receive in those events. You say you're going to go for a walk, you're going to go to the park or something. Well, you might meet somebody at the park that really is either going to be kind of just a cool friend, or you're going to encounter some sort of opportunity. Okay, so be open to communication, be open to the feedback, and offer help, support, offer feedback, because you never know what opportunities are going to arise through those interactions. Now, this card is also, don't overthink. Nine of Swords, overthinking. Let's avoid that. Speed and intuition are going to serve you very well this week. Keep your energy positive. What you are sending out to the universe is going to come back to you very quickly. Okay? Progress happens when you say yes and you stay flexible, stay positive, streamline. You may be multitasking, but make sure that in that multitasking, you're actually getting the things done. It's not really multitasking if the tasks never get completed, okay? So understand your own personal balance between doing things simultaneously and doing things sequentially, okay? What works for you? Because the point is, the goal is, right, with the 3 and the 6 of Pentacles, to get things done, to finish the things that are on our list. But if our multitasking never actually accomplishes anything, we're not making any progress, okay? And I think What are some ways you can streamline? Well, collaboration. Getting assistance, offering assistance. Let's say, let's work together and let's bust this thing out, rather than one of us doing it by ourselves while the other one waits, you know? So I think teamwork is going to really make the dream work this week. Yeah. And the 9 of Wands here, I think a lot of you are very close to a finish line here. Okay, so there is, I think, there is a conclusion, a completion, there is a success on the horizon for you. Protect this progress from any unnecessary distractions or conflicts or despair. You don't want to lose sleep. Why? Because you got a lot of work that still needs to be done. You know, you got to sleep well. Man, you got to hydrate so that you can continue making the progress you're making. Rest when you need it, but wake up in the morning and get right back to it. Whatever your work is right now, okay? If you're tired, rest. If you're fatigued, if you're feeling worn out, are you sleeping at night? What are you doing before bed that's preventing you from getting the rest you need so that you can wake up in the morning and continue doing what you need to do? Simplify your tasks. Again, avoid the burnout. Okay? Endurance is going to be really the name of the game here this week. You have a lot of names of the game this week, and I think that, you know, as you're trying to make progress in whatever your work is, whatever your goals are, all of these other cards are there to support that. Okay? And so I think even, you know, smiling more, that's going to help you stay strong in and endure the work that you're doing. It's going to help you to deal with the long days or the long hours that you might be experiencing. Okay? And now we're finishing up with the High Priestess, which is, you know, to make sure that you're taking time to slow down and listen to what's going on in your body and your heart and your mind and your soul. Okay? To pay attention to those subtleties. If we're rushing through life so fast and then it's like we're, you know, with the 9 and the 9 here, we're burning the candle at both ends. Your days are spent doing hard work, being active, right? And your nights are spent, you know, waking up every 5 minutes, worrying about stuff. Or, you know, doom scrolling on your phone or something, right? So you're kind of burning the candle at both ends. Get enough sleep so you can do the work during the day, whatever your work is. So the High Priestess is kind of like your intuition's telling you, you need some quiet time. You need more water. You need more rest. Listen to your body, your heart, your mind, your soul. Schedule some time for yourself daily where you can listen to your intuition. Write down the dreams that you have. To have dreams, you got to get some sleep. Okay? Write down any repeating thoughts. They're clues. Okay? If you feel uncertain about anything right now, delay any major decisions until you have clarity. Observe the people around you. Observe what's going on in life rather than just reacting to life. And maybe this week too, protect your privacy a little bit. Not everybody needs to know your plans or your thoughts or your feelings. Talk to your trusted people, but also protect your privacy. That may be some of these swords cards we have too, especially the 5 and the 9. Somebody maybe has betrayed your trust, or there is the risk of that this week. So don't offer anybody any personal details about yourself that they might then be able to use against you. You know what I mean? So protect that anyway. Meditate, stretch, and rest more than you have been. You need it right now. Trust your body, trust your gut. And if you need to sleep, sleep. If you don't trust somebody, you don't trust somebody. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to then rationalize it. If your gut, your body, or your heart, your mind, your intuition is telling you something, just obey. Don't question it and say, well, you know, there's really no There's no basis for me to assume that. Well, just caution. Okay, let's look at our mystery card. Sorry, this reading's been so long. It just keeps going and going and going. Maybe I should use less cards next time. I don't know. Anyway, with this, I want to see progress and success. I feel like a 4 of Wands, a 4 of Pentacles, 9 or a 10 of Pentacles, 9 or a 10 of Cups would be very good too. I feel like the water energy is really needed right now too, because the water energy would show that calm, cool, peaceful energy. And that's why all these cards are talking about that, because there's like, well, where's the water, you know? So the water would be the rest, would be the intuition, it would be the healing, right? It would be the calm, peaceful energy. It would be the flow. Let's see what we've got. The Chariot. The Chariot is a way of saying, protect what you're building, stay fortified, okay? It's also a card that's really saying like you've picked one direction in life and you're headed in that direction, okay? So there's no confusion about your path. I think whatever your 3 of Pentacles is, let's say it's, you know, your kayaking or like your poetry or something, or like the business you're running, or it's at home, it's at work, it's at school. Because remember, you're thinking about like upgrading something, yeah? So you might, you know, upgrade your workspace or your office space. You might upgrade your tools. You're putting a little extra shine on the car. You're upgrading a little, like, well, you know, those video games or the racing games, you get your car and you can make little upgrades. Like you win a race and it says, well, maybe I'll upgrade the tires. Maybe I'll upgrade the engine. Maybe I'll upgrade the sound system, you know. I feel like, you know, this Chariot is kind of representing the work itself that you're doing and the progress that you're making, the distance that you're trying to cover. It's sort of your momentum. Yeah. So upgrade something this week that's going to help you to stay either committed to your goals or kind of get there with more efficiency. I feel like this card's also about you channeling your emotions into progress. Okay? We're wondering where the water went. I think it's all in here. I think that, you know, the water may have been affecting your sleep with that 9 of Swords. I feel like now it's just kind of going back into this, we're channeling it into progress, okay? And we're not letting it linger in our minds or in our hearts to where it's going to disturb our sleep, you know? Maybe this week we're talking about setting like small goals, you know, like, well, this week my goal is to get one little cactus to put in the studio, you know? Maybe it could be a health or a fitness goal. Yeah, to help us build momentum, right? This is a card too that's kind of saying like we don't want to multitask, you know? We want to drive one plan forward with focus. And maybe that really is the meaning of the 8 of Wands, because look, all these javelins are going in the same direction. So be aware of how much you're multitasking. Maybe multitasking is good if it's all for this one kind of focus, one goal, you know? And so that's something that you need to consider, because we're trying to drive one plan forward. Another card of traveling. Even if it's a short distance or something, say yes. Motion is going to help clear your mind. Go ride a train or a bus, take a drive, even take a walk, ride the bicycle, something like this, okay? Putting your body in motion. And I think other than walking, maybe roller skating or something even, you know? Something a little faster than walking. It kind of will put you in a more meditative state, okay? Keep cool. When other people bring that conflict energy, you need to maintain the peace, because that is real strength, okay? This week, I think you're going to be making a lot of progress forward. And this is a very confident card. And I think a lot of you are very close to a finish line, and you got to make sure that you're maintaining the vehicle, changing the oil, making sure the tires are filled with air, changing the blinker fluid, I don't know. Keep it going, all right? And anyway, we're going to keep this reading going with an extended reading. Hit the join button that is right below. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do oracle cards. We'll clarify love and money. And we'll do the yes-no coin. All right. Sagittarius, I thank you. I love you. And we're all in this together.